The US goes and hurts big businesses like Standard Oil when Shell was right on its heels to go and become the number one company. Rockefeller was, yes, a monopoly, but he had a great process and he knew what products were actually good. He knew that gasoline was actually useful and not just a wasteful product like the regular population assumed. And when they split up the companies changed their ideas and their values, and eventually, one of the number one portions of Standard Oil, Exxon, would have a major crash and decided, you know what, it's a better idea to go after the captain of a ship than go and clean up and make a huge dent in the cleanup. And that is the Exxon Valdez. The US goes and gives weapons to our enemies like Bin Laden, and we just let that happen. And we decide, "Oh, that's a great idea because this guy can easily be trusted." Um, for years, we would go and, let our borders stay open during dangerous times, like during COVID, instead of going and shutting down the border for a few weeks and letting COVID go away, or even just look at the southern border with all its drug problems, and we decide that it's a good idea to keep it open. Um, we constantly give rival countries support when they ask for it, even though they shouldn't have this support. Why are we giving Europe support after World War II if we want to be the number one country? And look at nukes, for example. Nukes were our most deadly weapon for the time, and we decided to go and share that with everyone. We let them know how to go and make it. Look at how many nuclear superpowers there are out there today. We consider ourselves the world's police, but we go and step into these conflicts that we don't really have the ability to go and take down without going and using nukes or going and using these technologies that seem too extreme for the issues, right? We could go and drone strike our enemies, but that's too extreme for these third world countries. But in reality, we could have been done in places like Hamas within a week if we decide to go and do these really advanced attack strategies. Just look at Standard Oil, right? When they split up Standard Oil, it actually makes it where it's competitively viable to go and compete with Standard Oil, right? Standard Oil was entering even the steel industry, becoming the biggest steel manufacturer in the world, US Steel. But when we go and help out other countries, right, how could that be good for us? Well, when we help out another country, it allows us to get ally points with them, and when they go and succeed, we succeed because now we got a new ally, a new person to trade with, a new person to go and buy from. Um, and we tried to go and close down the border during COVID, and we tried to go and shut down the southern border, but we have some huge oppositions because these are our friends, right? These are the people that we should be allies with. We are allies with Mexico, right? We have the NAFTA agreement. So we are aligned with Mexico. So we should leave our borders open, right? But with them bringing drugs into this country, we should be trying to shut down that. Um, and when we go and give weapons to other countries, we're trying to get them to go and do their job, and they do end up going and taking out our enemies, right? they do the job that we ask them to do, but then we don't continue paying them, they do get a little bit more upset with us, and we didn't want to go into another conflict, so we did give Bin Laden some weapons, and that is on us. Right? We did hurt ourselves there. But when we're the world cops, right, we have to go and continue fighting all these conflicts, and we don't want to go and continue being in conflicts here in the U.S. So we have to go and give weapons to other people to secretly fight these things. But you could be saying, oh, well, we shouldn't be the world cops then. Well, when we're the world cops, we become the standard measurement for money, and that gives us a huge boost in value, right? Because if we're not the world cops, then China's the world cop. And then the yen is the number one currency in the world, and that's not good for us. And that would really be hurting. You know what? If you still think that's not good and we should be going and helping out companies like Standard Oil, leave that in the comments. And you know what? If you want to hear more about the US and its history, I have a video on how our two current people competing to be presidents grew up and how they got to the positions that they're in.